So Manchester United want a striker, and Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic has confirmed some big news. Ollie Watkins and Benjamin Cesco are the two names on the shortlist. Should United go after the Premier League proven experienced striker in Watkins or the potential high ceiling player in Cesco? More proven and ready now, or playing the long game? What's the right call? Well, there's plenty we need to discuss about the pair of these. Let's get into it. So Manchester United's striker for a search, it's down to two. I did my video yesterday. I gave you my opinion on Cesco. I stand by that. But what I'm going to do in this video is run through all the pros and cons of both of those players, actually compare them to Højlund. What's the shot conversion rate? We'll also speak about Whitwell, Sesko, Watkins, and you'll let me know in the comments who you would prefer out of the two, right? One thing I would say before I start this is the fact that we're even in for Cesco and in for Watkins is a big old upgrade on what I thought we'd be looking at striker-wise this summer. I'll be totally, well, after we sign Cunha and Mbeumo. Clearly, United have got more money, well, budget than we think, so long as the sales happen. We'll speak about that later. Now, if you've missed the news, where have you been? Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic, and also confirmed by Simon Stone from the BBC, James Ducker from The Telegraph. Right? Everyone is reporting the same thing. United are looking at either Watkins or Cesco. And this is the article from The Athletic here, right, saying United have narrowed the search to both of those two. United have narrowed the search to Sesko or Watkins. The club have been weighing up various options. No decision has been made on which target to advance on, but United are in contact on both. And Nicholas Jackson, goodbye, too expensive. So effectively, it's called the evaluating stage. That's where we're at right now. United are looking at both of these. Now, you've got Rob Dawson from ESPN saying United are actually confident that Cesco would choose United over Newcastle, which he absolutely would. And that's Champions League football for him as the be-all and end-all. And then, well, we can't do anything. And you've got Samuel Upcast, you've got Manchester News saying that Watkins would be open to joining United. And of course he bloody would be. What I want to do to start this, before comparing both of them to Højlund and having a conversation, in the live show this morning, I asked you all, give me some pros and cons for both of these players. So I'm going to run through these and just have a little conversation about the points that you raised. Right? This is what you said. You said with Cesco, you've got the pros, the age and potential growth, and the ceiling is a long-term potential. And that's probably the biggest pro for Cesco is if his projections in the next few years were correct, he could well end up being a Haaland level striker. That's the expectation, right? Physical strength and pace, guys, fast AF, right? Sell on value reduces the long-term risk. I think that's definitely a pro over Watkins. And the long-standing relationship with Whitwell is probably an interesting one, I think, because it's going to be Whitwell and Wilcox, I would say, the two men in charge with choosing the targets and choosing who we go after. You know full well which one that Whitwell's going to be shouting for, right? So it depends on the loudness of the voices and their influence, right? United have tracked Cesco for years. In terms of the cons, we know that negotiations are going to be hard because Arsenal were going to sign him and they pulled out of signing him. Not Premier League proven. Always comes with an inherent risk. Price will be expensive. I would say you're looking at 70 to 80 million for Cesco. Very expensive compared to what Watkins would be. Newcastle will probably create a bidding war. So it makes it more difficult for United in the negotiations for Cesco. But there are definite upsides to him. And can I just say here, I'd be happy with either. Who am I to be a beggar? Like, come on, man. Not beggar. Who am I to pick when, beggars can't be choosers? Got that completely wrong. But Watkins, all right? I also asked you to tell me the pros and cons of signing Watkins, and this is what you said. Ready-made 15 to 20 goal Premier League sure thing, and that's what Watkins is. You know exactly what you're going to get for 2 or 3 years. You're only going to get that for 2 or 3 years versus far longer with Cesco, so I understand that. Bit of a con. Versatility and work rate. Cheaper than Cesco's got the experience, and that 2 years as a senior striker and someone for Cheeto to learn properly, whether that's Cheeto or somebody younger to come through. Cons, went for age, the price you were paying, the resale value, and Villa's reluctance to sell. We know full well that right now, Villa are digging their heels in and they don't want to sell Watkins this summer. So whether it's Watkins or Cesco, sorry, wrong one, or Cesco, I don't think either club particularly want to sell. And remember that Leipzig are probably going to be selling Xavi Simons, so actually less of a need, desperate need anyway, for money. But this is an important part. How do they stack up against each other? Now, here's some numbers here from Opta, right? In terms of the overall goals in their career. Watkins, more games, more goals. It's important to look down at the minutes per goal assist, and the shot conversion. right? Something I noticed straight away here is Watkins is certainly a provider far more than Haaland and Cesco are, which tells you that he can and does sometimes drop deeper into different positions, whereas Haaland and Cesco is very much played as a centre forward, the man on the end of the pass rather than creating it. 200 minutes, 203 minutes per goal for Watkins. Cesco's winning that with 145, 27 goals in 64 games. Down there, when you include the assists in it, closer. Cesco's still winning 116 minutes. Watkins with 140 minutes. But remember that this is like over a longer career. Yeah, he had 184 games at the top level. Watkins, surely he's had more than that. Oh, big five. Is this must just be the Premier League? Interestingly, the conversion rate for Watkins is less than Haaland. So more chances, more goals, but doesn't convert as well. And Cesco winning all of them. Goals per minute or assist, and shot conversion rate. It really is going to be such an interesting decision by United, this. Because if you look at our strategy so far this summer, everything kind of points towards Watkins. The immediate upturn, the guarantee of Premier League goals. But United have done that with Cunha and Mbeumo. So would this be the position and the time where United actually went, you know what, maybe we will take that risk? Because the risk is somewhat mitigated by the fact that you've got Cunha and Mbeumo. So people have been trying to say that, oh, it's just going to be another Haaland situation, which I doubt. And I disagree with. Because you've got more experienced, better players around him. If Cesco comes in and is sort of flanked by those two, rather than Haaland coming in and he's got a moody, miserable Rashford and a Garnacho who's a kid and Ahmad who's coming through. It's a different sort of environment. Now, with both of these two, I think there's two players that are involved in a swap deal, but they're involved in the negotiations because it's down there as a con on both, right? Newcastle probably create a bidding war. Negotiations are going to be tough on Cesco. And then if you look at Watkins, you know full well that Villa have sort of said he's not for sale. So negotiations won't be easy, but I think negotiations could include Garnacho. And I said it in the live show, and I kind of stand by it. I could easily see a way that United pay 60 mil for Watkins if it means that Villa sign Garnacho for 60 mil. So it goes down on both books as a massive PSR boost. But actually, no money needs to be exchanged. Might suit both clubs. And PSR certainly need that. Sorry, Villa certainly need the PSR. And with Leipzig, I think there's a conversation you can have about including Haaland. Whether that would be on loan, whether that would be selling. I think Haaland would be good in the Bundesliga for what it's worth. I would be delighted if United signed either of these players. If it was me, strategy-wise, I would rather pay the 40 million for Watkins, which, by the way, I do think that they would accept 40 million. And Laurie Whitwell has said it's around about that price that United feel is his price point. So 40 mil for him and Cesco probably somewhere around 70. I'd rather spend the 40 on Watkins, bring him in for 2-3 years, guarantee yourself 3 seasons of double-figure Premier League goals, and at the end of that, you then go out and sign your Cesco, who's going to be your striker then for the next 5, 6, 7 years, and then spend that difference in money on midfield. Personal preference. Really is. But United clearly have chosen these two strikers. No Mateta is part of the conversation. No Nicholas Jackson. No anybody else. It's Watkins or it's Cesco if United get a striker this summer. Who are you choosing?